Hey guys, Sunstreaker Wozza here, and welcome back to another Thursday live stream. And yes, we are back. So apologies for the last couple of weeks, guys. As you can probably tell, my voice is still not 100%. It's still a bit hoarse. So apologies, guys. But I could not leave it 3 weeks. I was like, no, I cannot do it. So apologies. But I have literally been written off for 2 weeks, guys, honestly. So thanks for joining me this week. Really appreciate it. And apologies for going missing for a couple of weeks. But we missed a few things while we've been away, but nothing too much. I wouldn't say nothing that's going to be like, nothing drastic. So this week we're going to be talking a bit about something. I was a bit bored while I was off, so I did something which we'll talk about shortly. So got me sort of thinking about how the game has sort of come, and I want to sort of compare, a couple of things. I don't want to get too much into it, but you'll get what I mean. We're going to talk about buildbots. Massive focus off some buildbots as ever, but I want to talk about, are they becoming ineffective? Maybe. And also people out there be going, Wozza, you're talking absolute madness. Crazy buildbots are the pain of my life. But are they becoming ineffective? Maybe. Then we're going to talk about some settles for bots. So a few newer players have been asking me, can you do like a setup for a certain bot? And I know a while back I said what I was going to do was sort of do's and don'ts of bots. Like saying, if you've got this bot, this is what you want to do with these clauses, what you want to do. And I still had people still saying, yeah, I understand that was a bot. I just want to know on this bot, what do I put on it? And you know what? If that's what people want, then that is what we will do. So literally, we're going to do every week, pick up a few bots. Obviously, start with the more important bots. I work through and sort of do my best setups. Maybe put some ideas in there. Sort of get you guys thinking for yourselves on what you might be able to change it to, and get you. A lot of it is interpretation, though. So if I'm sort of sat here and say, listen, this is what I think, it doesn't mean that has to go on there. I'm just saying, in my opinion, that's the best setup for whatever reason. Then we're going to talk a bit about Ruination. Obviously, some changes have happened because of playtest over the last couple of weeks. Like it or not, it's here to stay. We'll talk about the reasons behind it, talk about how it sort of came about and what it means. And then we're going to take a little look at Raiden. Because obviously the last time I sort of left him off, he was pretty much done and dusted. So we're talking a bit more about him again. And we'll talk about how he will impact the game maybe when he has, when he's fully leveled up. Just as a proviso that we don't have to have the new bots or Volcanicus yet, but we will have him for next week. But what I am going to do is I'm going to talk a bit about Volcanicus and what they're trying to do behind the scenes and ideas for the bot, so you get an idea on where it's going long term. Yes, all that and more as always, guys. So let's have a look who we've got in the chat. So first off, we've got Traxpen Lancaster. Thanks for joining, much appreciated. We've got Deshawn as well. Hello, thanks for joining. I think you're a new person to the stream, so thank you for joining. Hope you enjoy it. We've got E-Rods. We've got my brother Grind Time. Good to see you as well as always, brother. We've got LJ Gav. We've got Vixen. We've got the Primes K. We've got Ricky Lau. My buddy MD Prime. Good to see you. We've got Candyman, who has commented, yes, Cyclone is delayed until 2025. Yes, sadly, guys. Dale has chosen to pick up Volcanicus and Predaking instead. Not entirely sure why. I think she's got the bug for doing combined as a monosphere. And wants to just get it out there, but maybe do an event before Christmas, maybe. I think he realises that he can't do a big event for Christmas. With the endurance getting put back, it'd be a bit unfair to have a legacy event between Christmas and New Year. So I think they're pushing that back because of the endurance, and they can do a Volcanicus and just do a normal event, maybe a 4-star crystal event for Volcanicus, something like that. We've got Chris Harmon as well, one of my members. Thanks for being a member. We've got Carnage Mac R8. We've got Shiny523 as well, my buddy. We've got Lou Mega 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got Dark Lance, Michael Cooper. We've got Autobot Phil as well. Who else have we got? We've got Supreme Rules. Good to see you as well. Jarvis 1000, Mr. J, Steve Pierce. A lot of talk about the Prime Core event, which we'll talk a bit about later as well. We've got Decimus. We've got Aaron DeJesus Hidalgo Gamboa. I hope I got it right. Welcome. Chris Wahausen. We've got Andrew Stevenson. Another of my members, Stephen Gomez. Appreciate it for being a member. Hope you all had a good Thanksgiving as well. Missed that even. We've got Jason Roller. We've got London's Calling and my buddy Stinger as well. If you're struggling to hear me, let me know. I can maybe turn the volume up a bit. I'm well aware that my voice is quite hoarse. So I've got a bottle of water, but it's not helping. I'm honest with you. If it gets really bad, I might have to get a hot drink. Hot drink seems to soothe it and get it a lot better. I think it's because I've not really talked much twice in a week. I don't know why, so I've been loved it. Any more questions in the chat? So, also some questions about Volcanicus. 5-star ability, not necessarily, but we're going to talk about it anyway. So, but yeah, actually, let me just bring that up ready. Actually, let me just get that. There we go. I'll get the playtest up, and I'll try and get up the changes that have sort of been made, and we can talk a bit about it. It's not actually in playtest; it's actually in the playtest account, but it is been talked about the changes. But no, the 5-star ability has been talked about, but that's about it. But that's as much as we can sort of say, really. I think. Playing real safe as well. Thanks for joining the stream. Thank you. Good to see you too. Just move this camera a bit. There we go. Go. And Darklands has asked Wing Saber or Dread Ring on test yet? No, not quite. We'll talk a bit about that as well. Any other questions? Let's have a look. No. Cool. Right. Okay. Let's get straight into the newsletter then. So, bi-week grinder. There we go. Whip niddy bong. I was a bit baffled by the start of this. This week in Transformers Earth Wars, we're bringing the heat with the 500,000 Alliance event. Not much heat there, is there really? Yeah. I like the positivity, even if it is unfounded. It's Alliance Totalizer. It's a 500k event, 20 prestiges for 5,000 Prime Shards. And I know that some people are sat there going like, oh my god, another Prime Core Shard event. I kind of agree in a way. I think that Prime Core Shard events have had their day, but I think new players still need Prime Core Shards. We talked in my interview with Dale, which, by the way, I'm literally chopping up this week because I've literally had nothing else to do, really, because I've been streaming and doing videos. We talked about the need to help newer players coming through to get all these resources that the top players have already got. So I understand the top players were like, oh my god, I'm overflowing in Prime Core Shards. Let's be honest, what are we not overflowing with? But I understand the need for new players. So, Prime Core Shard event, yeah, I kind of get it. It's a bit repetitive, a bit boring. But we do need Prime Core Shards in events, if that makes sense. I just don't think we need a whole event dedicated to it. Because you take that out of it, it's just some Spark, it's just some Energon and Shards. It's a basic 50k event, basically. It's nothing special, nothing crazy. But yeah, 5,000 Prime Core Shards. We get 4-star Shards, 3-star Shards, and Premium Shards, which I definitely don't want more Premium Shards. Spark and Combat Spark, Total Spark Chest, Alloy, Energon, and Gold Power Cores. It's not Mayhem mode. That is saved for the end of Saga event. So it's the normal battle zones, normal points. And then game updates and information. So there's going to be a delay. So let's put that. Firstly, we appreciate everyone's patience during this saga. It has indeed been very hectic and you've stuck by us. And we thank you for that. Now, before I carry on, we know that the reason this has been hectic is because Space Ape have sort of laid some people off, it seems. Or they've been, I don't think fired, but they've been laid off because of the merge, not the merge, sorry, because they've been taken over fully by Supercell. And so some people have left the company. Other people are in other games, so I think they're a bit short-handed for a while. They got a new guy in, Sam, as a developer, who's finding his feet. So no doubt they are sort of behind and trying to get up to date with things. It's just come a bit of a bad time. There are a few things I wish to share with you, and hopefully we'll put things into perspective on where we are. We mentioned that the legacy bots, Powerglide and Cyclonus, were on 20th December. We have delayed this as we are going to prioritise Volcanicus and Predaking. Like it or not, what's happening? We will see how these are in early January. However, they'll go in testing this week, giving us loads of time for content creators to share them and bring us back lots of feedback to act on with playtesters. So I reckon we'll probably get them in test tomorrow. Freezes might be able to show them tomorrow, hopefully. And we'll see where they're at. But I'm hoping it's a good bot. I'm hoping. We'd also like to do an event for Volcanicus and Predator, which will allow you to get some bots to hopefully combine him. If you can't already, more information on this shortly. So like I said, it's probably going to be a 4-star. Either it's going to be a non-dupe 4-star event, or a 4-star Volcanicus event, or more than likely, it's going to be an event with Volcanicus crystals. That's what I think. We've not seen one of these guaranteed 4-star events in a long time. I'm trying to think. We've had guaranteed 5-star with Blasto. When's the last time we had a guaranteed 4-star event? I can't actually remember. So they've put. We've also decided to delay the new bots for 1 week. So again, not even got the new bots yet. It's worrying. This is why. This is the problem with playtests. I said it all along. Is that things aren't early enough, and I'm hoping that these changes are before Christmas, that they're actually finally making the changes needed to be able to get the content out on time, because right now they're falling well short because of scheduling. I know they say, oh, sometimes it's the art and sometimes it's this, but sadly, no excuses. Sadly, you could have excuses. But you can't keep using these excuses time and time again. You need to break the link at some point, break the chain, and go, you know what? We need to do something different to improve. And I'm hoping that finally, after maybe about 2 or 3 years, finally going to do that. Wait and see. But the new bots are Wing Saber and Dreadwing. Super pumped for Dreadwing. Although I won't get him, become a bot. Wing Saber, not so much. I don't even know what series he's from. I'm honest with Wing Saber. Never heard of the guy until I heard about him here. But everyone knows, listen, I'm a G1 fan. Strictly love G1. Outside of that, not so much. So I believe this is G2 Dreadwing. So I'm not a fan of that either. I hope it's the G1 version. It was G2 and we're really disappointed. Because I actually had Darkwing and Dreadwing as bots as a kid. I've actually still got them actually up there somewhere. I'll fish them out actually next week. Where are they? I'll get them out next week. I'll get them out if I remember. But yeah, Darkwing, they're not there. I do this all the time. I talk about a bot and I go, actually, where are they? I've got some missing somewhere. I've definitely got some bots that are not up on there. I'll have to find them. Yeah, I got Darkwing and Dreadwing, and the cool thing was that they actually linked together. They were engine masters, and they linked together to form one big plane. They didn't form one big robot, but they joined together. I don't think we'll see that in the game somehow. I've talked before about not combiners, but mini combiners of 2 bots combining to make things. And things like that. I'm not sure they've got the tech for it. I don't think in game, and I just think that them two combined into a jet wouldn't work. If it combined into a robot, maybe, but not into a jet. I don't think so. But still, hoping G1 Dreadwing, hoping. Then we've got the new side pass skins. Ultimate Optimus and T2 Megatron. So I like these. These are probably one of the first skins I'm like, these are pretty cool. I'm not sure, like, it says like snowboard Yeti. Is it a Yeti? I don't know. Snowboarding, why? I get it. But listen, regardless if we think it is a Yeti or not, it's still pretty cool. You know, I like the colouring scheme. And we've got Ice Dragon T2 Megs. Again, pretty cool. If this is what Space have come up with for their own sort of their own skins that they've designed, and I'm pretty impressed. I think they should design their own more. Because I think they try and copy some and from like G2 series and things like that. And I don't know. I'm not a fan of a lot of them. They're just a bit too bright. But I do like these. The colouring scheme looks really good. Sort of goes in with the box. You know, like Primal. You know, with Yeti. I get it. Being white. Ice Dragon because it turns into a dragon. So yeah, I like them. They're pretty cool skins. I might actually go out to try for these skins. I normally get to the combat shard and then just go meh. Never get the skin. I get the skin. If I don't. I'm not one for skins. I'm honest with you. I'm not a big fan unless they're a really cool skin. Like obviously back in the day when they brought out the G1 skins, and I wanted the G1 skins because I'm a massive G1 fan. But now with these skins that make them just weird, I'm not a big fan. But yeah, I like these. It says Forge of Solus Prime. We know you've been waiting for this weapon eagerly. Great news! It will be live from this Friday, so it's actually current in the batch right now, so you can go and get it. Saga schedule. So as you can see here, it's gone to 10 weeks. So still only 2 bots until the bot. 2 weeks till the bot is released, which is absolute madness. That we're still only 2 weeks away and I got the bot. So we need to get this in pretty quick. But we've got obviously a Prime Core Shard event this week. We've got another event next week. Who knows? Probably the Volcanicus event. Getting Volcanicus done in a week. I don't think it's going to happen. We've had chats in test about what's going to happen and what Dale wants to do, and I had my opinion, which we'll talk about shortly. But in a week, I can't see it. I cannot see it. And then we've got Mayhem Alliance Endurance event on the 20th to 23rd December, which is just before Christmas, which is a bit too soon for my liking. But if the bot is really, really good, then I will still go for the bot. After that, as usual, guys, you can expect at least 2 easy events. 2, maybe not, maybe 1, because the 27th to the 30th, that's in between New Year. That'll be an easy event. Then we'll have one on this, like the 5th of Jan or something. And that should be an easy-ish event, I think. But hopefully we can get some things in playtest before Christmas, so we've got all of Christmas to sort of discuss it in playtest. Because obviously the apes have 2 weeks off for Christmas. I'm not sure it's the same in the States, but over here everyone has 2 weeks off for Christmas, unless you work in retail like me and you work twice as hard. And yeah, there's normally easy events. Normally the one before Christmas is an easy event actually as well. It's normally like 3 weeks of easy events, but it's a bit weird how Christmas lands this year. It's like right in the middle of the week. And so yeah, it's what it is. Then go and check out your content creators. Obviously myself, Freezes Max and Soldier. And the next team streams on the 19th of December, which is like 2 weeks away. So make sure you check that out. They'll also be covering the bots and the and also Volcanicus, I presume. But hey, we'll be covering it before they will anyway. So you can check out mine and Freezer's channel, and we'll be covering it as always. So some questions in the chat, and I can have a quick drink. Hmm. Um. So Andrew Stevenson's put. I got both Bonanza bundles last week. Got enough 5-star shards for 5-star bot and got air raid. Good pull. Then on the con, got about 30 bots. Yeah, I bought all the bundles available and I got about, about, I think about 6,000 shards, I think it was in the end. I got for all of them, I think. Jamie Carpenter, how's it going? Good to see you too. Just a bit of talk about Prime Core shards, obviously. Yeah, Andrew Stevenson's put, yeah, great for new people, but us always have nothing to get with them. Well, you got G1s, but, I think the problem is the pool of G1s is so big that the chances of you don't get enough Prime Car shards to go and buy a load of G metals. And so, if you do that, then you're not going to get any. Probably the chance of you getting a G metal that you actually need when it's 1 out of 100 is very slim, or few out of 100, which most top players need. I think there's only one G metal that I actually want right now. And so trying to get that 1 out of 100 is almost like trying to pick a needle out of a haystack. And so pulling those G metals is kind of irrelevant. You don't really need them. If I was to put all my shards and I'd have like 50 G metal pulls, I'd be like, yeah, it's worth it. But I'll get like 6. I'm like, no point. It's just fusing material. Oh. Darton's has put, it's been more than 2 years on a guaranteed 4-star event. Wow. Oh, excuse me. The Master Ninja's put, with Volcanicus, it can't be a complete rework, just an added 5-star built it and buff. Yeah. What else? Oh, Darton's put Wing Saber comes from Energon era cartoons. Oh, right, good to know. What else? Steve Pierce put SpaceX planning is horrendous. Can't get Legacy bot out, but will cram in a reworked combiner and a new bot. Yeah, fair point. Yeah, but I think the Legacy bot, the combat and the endurance bot will always be a priority because they need to come every saga. Everything else is subject to being put back. So I understand putting the endurance back over the putting legacy back in front instead of the endurance, because endurance has to happen. It has to come now. But I don't get why we're doing Volcanicus and Predaking now before we're doing. We sort of started. I think the problem is that Powerglide and Cyclonus need so much work and so much changing and doing to them that even playtests are like, we don't have a we've got ideas, but we don't have a clue what to do with these bots really to make them relevant. I think even Dale's like and ahhing and going, ooh, whereas Volcanicus and Predaking, it's kind of obvious, I thought, what needs to be done. Yeah, Stinger's put, what about the Cyberpass XP boost for the next 2 events? I presume that they'll restart the Cyberpass the week after and you can get it in time for the event. That's what happened. That's probably why they put it all back. Hi Garrett, hi Cuddy Fox, thanks for joining. Bartosh, good to see you guys. Grant says, but could you cough more directly into the mic, please? All right, sorry. Next time I'll do it like this next time. It pains me to do this. Oh, thank you, Stephen Gomez, upgrading. Can we upgrade Raiden to 4-star and how? There will be an event next year for the 4-star part, which is exactly the same as how Omega was. There'll be a 4-star event. It might be a 4-star and 5-star event, maybe. I think someone might correct me here, but I'm pretty sure last time it was a 4-star and 5-star event, and the 5-star was at like 3.5 mil, maybe 4 mil even, and the 4-star was at like 1.5 or 2 mil. So you can go for 2 mil and get the 4-star part, or you can go for like 4 mil and get the 5-star part. Or they might have two separate events. They might have a 4-star event and a 5-star event. This nothing's set in stone to say this is how it's going to be, but it is going to be in parts. So there will be a 4-star part, but it will, because it's trains though. I imagine it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4-star trains, which is a bit silly. But hey, it is what it is. Yeah, Down Support could do a 2-week duration side pass to get it in line with events. Yeah, they could do, yeah, but I think more than likely they'll do another 10-week side pass, I think. So they'll do a 2 weeks and 8. They'll do it for 10 weeks. But hopefully they'll just say, listen, we're going to keep the side pass the same, but we're actually going to give you 10 weeks to complete it. Rather than, 8. I think that'd be a good gesture. Steve Pierce, not even touching Raiden until next year, upgrading my Skylinks. I started upgrading Raiden, obviously, but a lot of my combiners are quite high. Candyman's put, that sounds about right, Wozza. They later made the 5-star available for your shards. If you don't want to finish the event, yes, so they will have the 5-star part in the shop eventually for 5-star shards. Just like Omega is right now, so that will happen, yeah. And same for the 4-star as well, so yeah. Okay, cool. Let's jump into game and then start some subjects. Cool. Okay, so I did mention that I was bored while I was disappeared from streaming due to my cold, throat infection, nasal infection, chest infection, everything. To be honest, the last couple of weeks have been full of everything. But whilst I wasn't streaming, I got a bit bored one night. I was just in the chat chatting away, and we were talking about bots that we have, bots that we don't have, and I've always said that, I've worked it out that I had about 60,000 5-star shards if I was to pull all my crystals. But obviously I'm waiting to get the best out of them by trying to wait for some new cores that I can try and get out of pulling them also. So I don't really need to pull them right now. I've got 60,000 right there, and I said, listen, if I pull them all, there's still some bots that I wouldn't have. And I was saying like, oh well, what do you want to go for? And so I was going through my bots. I won't go through them all again, but I was going through my bots saying I would like this bot. I was saying about the combiner bots. I was like, I want all the combiner bots. So, but the big one for me, the big sort of golden goose that I've been missing. There's a bot that I've wanted for quite a long time, and that's Springer. I've wanted Springer for as long as I remember. I remember wanting Springer back when backdoors were a thing, which is years ago. You're talking 4 years ago. I also wanted Firefly at the same time because Firefly's ability 11 could clear a decent area like HQ 16. So I wanted these bots. Now Firefly has fell away from the meta, but Springer's still been relevant throughout. And then after that, Tex was showing me some videos how he clears an area using Springer and then zips him across. I was like, yeah, I like that as well. It's pretty cool. And then obviously I thought I could go and try for him, but it's going to take me 4 pulls at the most because I've only got Cheeto in this batch. So I've got Firefly, Jazz, Springer, Ultra Magnus to get. Now, I have talked previously about Ultra Magnus probably being the next bot for the Legacy event. It's going to be extremely difficult though. Extremely difficult. But I won't talk about that right now, but it is going to be difficult. But I know he's on the list. So I would want Ultra Magnus as well. But I definitely don't want Firefly right now. And I definitely don't want Jazz right now. So, bit of peer pressure in the chat. And they were like, go on, pull it. Go on, trying for Springer. I was like, alright, okay. I'm going to try for Springer. But sadly, I got Jazz. And when I pulled him, although I was disappointed, a bit of nostalgia sort of pulled him because I wanted Jazz when the game first came out. When the game first came out, Jazz was probably the best bot in the game. You could clear a decent area for 9 ability points. Although it was expensive, you could wipe out half the map. A bit like Leo Prime now. It was the bot to get. I thought, wow, how far has this game come? That back when the game sort of was first around, that for 9 ability points, clearing out 4 defenses wasn't considered that bad. You know, using 2 ability points per defense wasn't crazy. And then I thought, comparing that to Leo Prime nowadays, and looking at cost wise, I think this is where we've sort of gone wrong a bit. Is that I think Jazz is a bit expensive, if I'm honest with you. But I think that you could probably destroy 8 defenses for 5 ability points with Leo Prime. For 2 uses, 5 plus 3, so that's 5 plus 8 is 13. You could take out 16 defenses, so you're taking out more defenses than ability points cost. And then when you put that into perspective of clearing out 4 defenses for 9 ability points for Jazz, then, you know, it's no wonder why some of these bots are like so fell away from the meta completely that there was no reason to use them at all ever. Probably one of the few bots in a desperate need for a buff. But the problem being is that once you start buffing this guy, do you make it 6? And then once you make him 6, then you need to put Sunstreaker down to maybe what, 5, 4. But once you put him down to 5 or 4, damaging an area, then you've got Prowl at 6 expensive. So does Prowl need to come down to 4? Then you've got Silverbolt at 4. Does he need to come down because it's single use? And you see where I'm going with this, is that I think that a lot of the bots are balanced over time. But some of these modern bots have just gone a bit too far. Now, yes, I know Leo Prime was working a certain way and then the apes fixed him. I think you just say a lot, though, that shows that it goes both ways. You know? But even if you take Leo Prime out of the equation, you know, 7 plus 2, you know, for 7 plus 9 for 16, you can clear an incredible area with Optimus for 16 ability points. You can literally clear out a third of the map. Even up to Sea Spray at 4 plus 3, so 4 plus 7 is 11 ability points for 2. And you can literally clear out like 6-7 defenses for that cost as well. Whereas Jazz nowadays, for 9 ability points, won't even clear out 4 defenses. It won't even get close when he's maxed out. Not even close. So yeah, although a bit disappointed pulling Springer, the nostalgia part of me was quite happy to pull Jazz. One of my favourites from the cartoon as well, and one of the original bots. But I think it is about time, though. I've put this off, but with Volcanicus being announced, I think it is time that we get rid of this batch and we do pull Grimlock. I've always said that the shards are there if we need them, and literally, I'm going to let 5-star Grimlock enter the fray. So I've actually wanted this guy again since the game's concept. I always put it off because I didn't really like him, didn't really think he was that good. So yeah, you know what? It's another bot off the list. You can probably tell by that smile on my face that I'm quite pleased I've got Grimlock. Love Grimlock. But yeah, and that just means now that Five-star Volcanicus is now in place. So Volcanicus being the next combiner. After that, we have got Computron. I think Computron might be next. Or I think that we need to have a legacy bot at some point. And so we've got all these bots as 5-star, sorry. All these as 5-star. But I think that the combiner needs the most love after that. Is Defensor. I think we'll see Streetwise and Cinder Twin. I think because it's an easy fix. I don't think they're a million miles away from being decent bots. I think that for a legacy event, it's just bring them out as 5-stars, give them a bit of a tweak, and then go. You've got 5-star Defensor then as well. Another 5-star combiner ready to go. So I think as a 5-star combiner, we'll see Computron next, after Volcanicus, and after Predaking. But I think that in terms of the next 5-star combiner ready to go, I think it'll be Defensor and Abomination. Abomination? Why does that sound wrong? Abominus. Abomination. Been playing Marvel Strike Force too much. There you go. Happy grind time? Yeah? Okay. Okay, cool. See what everyone's sort of saying. We're going to talk about Volcanicus shortly. Ultimate film, yeah. Cuddy Fox said, I want to see another 5-star bot in the Shannick store. They always said they will never do another 5-star bot in the Shannick store. They did say that. So. Andrew Stevenson, I've seen base designs like this. Does it work? Well, yeah. That's why I'm trying out. A bit different than this, but I'm trying a few things out. I always like to sort of copy ideas and then change it a bit to suit. Make it a bit harder, maybe. Andrew Stevenson, do a video with text. I know, to honest, books are busy though. You got to remember that it's really hard with text because obviously the time difference, because we're other sides, literally polar opposites of the Earth. So it's like a 10-hour difference. So either I've got to stay up really late and text get up really early to meet in the middle, because he has to get up at like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, and me at like 11 o'clock at night to get set up, and then I've got to stay awake until like 2 or 3 in the morning, and then he's finished off at like 10 in the morning. So it goes sort of that way. Other than that, then either I'm first thing in the morning, so I've got to do it at like 10 a.m. and he's got to do it at 8 o'clock at night. But obviously we both work, we both got families, so it's just a bit difficult. But I can hit him up actually. I like Tex, a good guy. Not spoken a while actually. I know he's been busy. He's obviously just got engaged with his wife to be, so he's been really busy traveling. Master Ninja's put Jazz needs his SA damage cut for that cost. Well, maybe. Dart Spot is a decent tank after the reclass. We'll see. I'll try him out. Have I got? I just said Grimlock's crown. Put it on. Have I got his crown? Let's have a look. Should have, surely. I might have actually just think on my cores. So I might have a. Oh no, is it that one? No, that's his G1. Don't have his crown. You mean put his crown on for like visual effect? I've even got his crown. Not even got his crown. Not even got Grimlock's crown. Wow. That's a bit weird, isn't it? I must have. I'll just cash load in though, a lot of cores in. So maybe I cash them all in, but that's weird, isn't it? But yeah, I've only got 4 G1s. Oh, sorry, got time. Jason Morley put, I thought Optimus Maximus would be next. I think Mirage needs more work than Streetwise personally. So I think that Sinner Twin, and you got to think as well because of that. Yeah, but because it's Optimus Maximus is Mirage, and Mirage counterpart is not Breakneck. Who's Mirage's counterpart? I know it's part of Menasor though, isn't it? And so that, I'm pretty sure it is. Or is it not? Someone tell me in the chat. Who's Mirage's counterpart? Because Mirage's counterpart is part of Bruticus. Is it? Then it might be. But if not, there's a lot of combiners where they overlap. And like obviously Cup and Dead End. If you bring out Dead End, it means Cup's coming off the bot, but we don't get the combiner part. If you bring out Trax and Cutthroat, the cons get the combiner part. We don't. So there's a lot of ones like that, which cause problems. You've got obviously Chromium and Fellbat as well. There's a lot of combiner parts. You've got Skydive and Skywarp, so they will have no combiner parts. So yeah, there's a lot of problems with them. Andrew Stevenson wants the Victorian buff. I think that's a long way off. Yeah, breakdown. Yeah, so breakdown's part of Menasor. So if they bring out Optimus Maximus next, it means that the Menasor is close to being a 5-star combiner, if not complete, nearly with Dead End. But then Victorian's nowhere near, so it's just they all sort of cross over. And it's going to cause chaos. Whereas obviously with Defensor, with Twin, and with Streetwise, it's an easy fix. Both combiners and then ready to go, aren't they? Darklands thinks Skyrim and Galvatronus. I don't think so, because again, Galvatronus is Felbat. Am I right in that? I was struggling with because I can't see the combiners. I will struggle, and that means that they'll get a combiner part and we won't. So yeah. Could he fuck? I see a lot of stuff they go back at like 6-bot combiners. They'd never said they wouldn't do 6-bot combiners. They never said that, to be fair. Maybe Dale can give you a G-Metal crown. Maybe. He was the bronze one to spot on him. Just for a laugh. Crown, increased damage and run speed in alt mode. G1 does SA damage and a shield. Oh, I want the G1 then. I don't want the crown, just put it on him just so he looks good. That's it. Even because I'm the 4-star, even I've got the 4-star. Have I got the crown the 4-star? I don't think so. Where's 4-star Grimlock? God. Yeah. Got his G2 core. But it's combats, isn't it? Yeah. Even put crown on the 4-star just to see it, but I mean, I've seen it, but it's been a while since I've even looked at Grimlock, I'm honest, because I've only got 4-star, so yeah. Galvatronus missing Cyclonus. Ah, right, okay. Oh, well, yeah, to be fair, if they do Cyclonus and doing thingy, then we might get Trailbreaker next, then. That would make sense. But then who's the counterpart to Trailbreaker, then? This is the problem, you see. This is the problem. Who's Trailbreaker's counterpart? They used to be so good at this. And now I just can't remember, especially with combiners. Exhaust, yeah. So yeah, so then you got a combiner part. So if they bring out Exhaust for the bots, bring out Trailbreaker for the bots, and Exhaust for the cons, well then the bots are getting a combiner part and we're not. But then again, they're getting a combiner part in Cyclonus and we're not in Powerglide. So yeah, this is the problem, you see. Cool. But next up, obviously, we're talk about buildbots and their relevance. And I remember talking quite a while ago saying that FFD was such a problem and they were killing shields and things like that. But now we're finding that people are sort of starting to go away from FFDs more. And definitely towards anti-acid, anti-fire cores, anti-water cores, anti-acid cores, stop people from using the arc to take out the shield gem. People are using anti-fire cores to stop Optimus and Leo Prime. People using anti-water cores for Ruination God Neptune to reduce their damage. And people using FFDs to obviously stop the use of tracks and pipes as well. Some of the most overpowered bots in the game. The problem lies is that we only have 5 buildbots, and they can't keep bringing out more buildbots. And right now, I think we're at a point where we can't protect against everything, but people are trying to. So what you'll find usually is 1 anti-acid core, 2 anti-fire cores, 2 FFDs. Leaves it open to other things. And I've always been a fan of this, I have. But the more and more overpowered things we bring out, the more weakened the build bots become. And so, for example, if Sea Spray can take out these build bots now from a certain decent range, then we're going to struggle because you can just take them out and then we just kill the base. But we've got some bots with absolutely immense range. But the more bots we get with, if we get any bots now with immense electrical range, then I think we're really going to struggle. We've got Warpath with incredible range. We've got Leo Prime with incredible range. We've got the likes of Air Raid. We've got the likes of Smokescreen. We've got these bots with stupid range, which can clear like 3/4 of a map from the launch pad. And I feel like at the minute, if we start to use any bots like that with electric, then there's no stopping it. All we need is one more bot out with a really crazy range that's not fire acid, and I think we're just stuck. We just can't protect against it. Because once we remove FFDs, then we can just spam tracks and just spam pipes. So we're at a real turning point here that we can't have any more overpowered bots. So the big question is like, so where does it go then? What's the next stage for these bots? And it's also worrying that we can't actually now bring out any overpowered bots because we've got too many. And if we do, then we're going to struggle. So then do we have now endurance bots that, can't be past a certain point? Have we come to a point where we can't bring any more overpowered bots out? But then on the flip side, we also can't keep bringing out underpowered bots as part of the endurance as well. So we'll have to see where this goes. But I can see Power Glide becoming a problem. Because Power Glide has a crazy range. And if it goes with anything other than fire and acid, which I think they will change it. I don't think they'll have fire or acid, because I think the playtesters know that fire and acid is countered right now massively in the game. I think they're going to go, hang on, well, I don't think they're doing it because they're trying to break the game or trying to cheat the game or anything like that. I just think common sense says, well, don't make it fire or acid because everyone's using anti-fire and anti-acid cores right now. Let's bring out something else like electric as a counter for it. It's fine. But are we going to find one electric core, one acid core, one fire core, one anti-water core? It gets a bit silly. So, even I'm at a loss on what to do at this point now. Few ideas what to do, but I don't think any of them will be liked by the community really, because it involves making these cores or build bots harder to kill, which I don't think people will be too keen on. Maybe it's a Prime League effect, maybe, who knows. But I just feel like build bots are weakened. They're going to go even more weakened with release of Power Glide. It's going to make things a lot easier in a way, and then it's going to make it interesting, let's just say. Sandra Stevenson's but just give him a nuke and destroy the whole base. Job done. Brian and Katie's but I've got one of each. Yeah, but the problem is one of each. You destroy one and then it leaves open to everything then, doesn't it? All of that one. So at least get rid of the acid one. It makes killing the shield generator a lot easier, and killing one is dead easy. You get rid of the fire one, Leo Prime will smash everything else. And so you definitely need more than one fire one, I think. One FFD, you can one FFD, then you just use tracks and pipes, which makes it dead easy. Just leave it really open, living one. Prime's case, Silverbolt has crazy range. Yeah, good point. Yeah. Silverbolt, yeah, very good point. London Calling said the cons needs to the 20 and Cutthroat. Yeah, but the thing is though, for Abominus, I don't think Cutthroat and Tracks need any work. This is the point I'm making. Fair point. I forgot about Cutthroat, but the easy ones to do, easy combiners to do because they don't need any work. Sinner Twin, Streetwise, Tracks, and Cutthroat ready to go as 5 stars pretty much. Paraglider's combiner part. Is the gun though, isn't it? It's not a combiner part, is it? It's the gun, so I don't think it's a combiner part, is it? Is it? I'm gonna be quite embarrassed if that's the case. Oh my god, yeah. So it's 5 bots, then it becomes the gun. Oh, so we are both getting a bot part. Interesting. It shows how much I've used Superior. I've not used Superior in a long time. Downlands Leo Prime still does a ton of damage against anti-fire cores. I know, yeah. Even then. Cuddy Fox, but hoping to see Diatlas in the game and give him both G1 Core and Zodiac. I don't even know what Zodiac is. Not gonna lie, sorry. Cool. Next up, so I want to talk a bit about certain bots and best setups for bots. And so I've tried to pick out some of the best sort of bots in the game that people have or people trying to use, and try and get them some ideas. I don't just want to come out and go, use this for this bot. This is the best setup. I want to just put some ideas in there, and maybe what some of the top players are using. And so first off, I'm going to go with Leo Prime. And so we've talked quite a bit about how much damage he does, and so I think an easy option for him is literally just to give him his G1 core. I don't currently have his G metal yet. It's one of 2, I think it is, that I need. But increasing that ability damage by 12-15% and give him a shield is both obviously beneficial, especially increasing that ability damage. So I think his G1 is a bit of a given really for increasing ability damage. And then after that, I think a lot of people use the Forge of Solus Prime that I've seen, especially with the 5-star now coming into the batch, with it sort of giving him healing, giving him hack immunity. Obviously that's really important with obviously the Liege core and defense and giving him extra DPS. And the Forge of Solus Prime is one of the best weapons or combats in the game right now. So definitely a really, really good option. If you're not comfortable then putting the Forge of Solus Prime on him, then there are some really good combats that you can put on. Bull Strike is generally a choice that you'll see quite a bit. I don't think it's quite as good as the Sword of Solus Prime. Sword of Solus Prime? Yeah, still a really, really good combat to put on him. Now, if you don't have the Forge of Solus Prime, and you also don't have Bull Strike, and you're looking outside that, and I think there's quite a few options. Now, they're not necessarily decent options for him. They're not necessarily meta options, but you have got likes of Bash Breaker that obviously deals acid. Now, there is a lot of anti-acid cores at the higher reaches of the game, but negating healing is quite good at Cybertron below. Not everyone has these anti-acid cores yet. And obviously a lot of good combats, Zor, Big Daddy and Sidetrack, but they're quite generic. They're just good on anyone basically. So it's not that it suits Leo Prime, but I just think they're just good combats generally. If you haven't got Leo Prime's G1, I think you're looking at a Prime Core. Micronus, having that in your team I think is good, and Nexus, Quintus, and I would have all these in your team. The question is only choice on where to put them. And so a Prime Core is definitely beneficial. But I think this is probably the setup that you'll see in most cases. Is Leo Prime's G1 Core and the Forge of Solus Prime. That's generally what most of the top players are using right now. So let me know in the comments what you think. Do you agree? Is this your setup? What are you using? Have you used something else to good effect? Let me know. Next up, so a bot that everyone's using on defense right now, everyone asks what is the best setup, is Beachcomber. Beachcomber on attack, we see him quite more often than what we did. But on defense, it's one of those that back in the day we used to talk and say that if you don't have Twin Twist on defense, it's not a good base. It's pretty much the same now for Beachcomber. If you don't have Beachcomber on defense, then it's not a good base. But obviously leveling him up is important as always, even on defense. But I think that again, you can't go wrong with his G1. We're finding a lot more G1 cores now are really relevant. Obviously, it coats him in the Golden Lagoon, so even if it's not relevant, it makes it look cool. But increases health, gives him reflection, increases ability damage around him. I'm not a big fan of the cheer because you can't really see when it's coming, but still it does increase ability damage around him. But that Golden Lagoon effect and the health and reflection is absolutely immense as part of that G1, coupled with the ability 11, which also sort of reflects damage as well. So absolutely immense coupling Beachcomber's ability 11 with the G1. For a combat wise, again, you talk Jazzy is a really good option. The fact that it sort of blocks all damage and gives him an increase in health when he's already got absolutely crazy health at 65k, that just puts that health through the roof. The fact on defense that it disables shields, so when they have the likes of shield drawn or pipes using them on attack, it just sort of disables them shields. So obviously that's really beneficial as well. But obviously all these components just make it so hard to deal with on defense. The reflection, the increase in health, the increase in health from Jazzy, the energy that disables shields. So absolutely immense setup. Now, if you're doing the same on attack, I'd probably go with the same for survivability. What makes him so hard on defense is that survivability. It takes absolutely ages to kill him, and every time you hit him, it just reflects that damage back. And so I think the same for attack, the exact same setup. Now again, if you don't have Jazzy, you can put one of the generic combats on him, like Zor, Big Daddy, Sidetrack, all good combats. SG Steeljaw, Shield Run's a really good option as well, because obviously it blocks damage and disables defenses and stuff. So another good option, just not as good as Jazzy. And as always, if you don't have the G1, a Prime Core is usually the most beneficial thing to put on him. And again, it goes down to preference, really. I mean, he already hacks, so I don't think you need Liege on him. I think Nexus, having that on to increase the amount of damage that Ruination does in an area will help. Obviously, my Cronus would help as well. Even Quintus. I like Quintus personally on an actual tank right at the front. Not to say that obviously Beachcomber's not a tank, but I just prefer it on a Russian tank. But it's up to you. It's your choice on where to put it. But personally, I like this setup for Beachcomber. It seems to work really well on defense. Seems to work well on attack, and just makes him almost just unstoppable. If you're using Beachcomber, let me know what you guys think. Do you use the same setup? What do you use? Let me know the reasons why as well. Not always just what you use. Have you actually thought about it and put some effort into the decision making? Have you found something that other people maybe not considered? Let me know in the comments, guys, and let me know your setup for Beachcomber. And then next up, another bot that's really popular is Minerva. So Minerva setup, I think, is one of the easiest setups to decide on. I think that you need some sort of healing combat. I mean, you can put, again, the likes of Big Daddy and Zor and Sidetrack on. But we always say this, that you can put them on. But I think that CL has come to the forefront in being one of the best combats for healers. The fact that it heals around 38%, but also reflects damage back. If you don't have CL... If you don't have CL, then Rung is another good option. Very similar in a way to CL, as you can see. But in terms of, instead of Reflect, then Rung just shields instead. But with FFDs, that can remove the shield. So CL seems to be more beneficial. After that, you'll have a choice, basically. Do you want more healing? So you can put a Ray Booster on. Or do you want to put one of your prime cores on? We've talked in other videos about trying to fit prime cores in. You want mostly G1s on your bots, but can you fit that Alpha Trion core, that Quintus core maybe, that Micronus core? Can you fit on a healer maybe just to get it in your team? Personally, I'm a big fan of Alpha Trion. But I know some people, other people that use raid boosters instead to increase the healing. If you can get Alpha Trion somewhere else in your team, you can get Nexus somewhere else in your team, and Micronus, if you can fit them in, then yeah, put a raid booster on. That's probably going to get you the most amount of healing that you want, which is a good idea, obviously, for your healers. But outside of that, maybe a prime core. But let me know what you think. What would you use? Do you use the prime core on your healers? Do you use that healing rate? You want the most amount of healing possible. Do you prefer CL? Do you prefer Rung? Do you prefer putting minion on? Let me know in the comments, guys, what your setup for Minerva is. And yeah, we'll see who has some interesting setups. Last off, next bot on the list. So when we talk about Smokescreen, I think most people will say to put his G1 on, which increases his damage against bots and combiners, and obviously gives a bit of a cloak which absorbs damage, and to put glitch on it. I think that 99% of the players will probably say that, to be honest with you. And that is a good setup, but I've tried something a bit different nowadays. I've tried putting primer on him, for the simple reason that, yes, you can put his G1 that increases damage by 100%, but I like the fact that you put primer on, and enemies hit by your basic attack take 25 extra damage from all sources. So it's not just that Smokescreen doing extra damage against that bot, but it's all the bots. Now, some would argue you can put primer elsewhere, but the problem is with my team is that the other gunners that I've got are either jets that need EO cores, or they're either gunners that need volatile mixtures. There's not many gunners or many jets in the game that don't need an enhanced ordnance or don't need a volatile mixture. Now, one example of this is tracks. Now, if you use tracks in the game, yes, I would advise you to put primer on tracks. I would also say maybe put flak to increase the primer range. But I don't use tracks. I use Smokescreen, I use Sea Spray, I use Warpath, I use Air Raid, I use Brainstorm. Every one of those other bots either need an enhanced ordnance or they need volatile mixture. So again, we talk about getting these prime cores in your team somehow. Putting primer in. I just think that his G1, yes, it is good. I think that the smoke that absorbs damage for 5 seconds when using his ability, I just think that for the amount of health that Smokescreen has at 12-13k, then reduction of damage doesn't do much to protect him. He's still going to get hit quite hard by anything that hits him. And then you increase your normal damage against enemy bots and combiners as his DPS. So it doesn't help his ability at all. And it doesn't need to. Most people use Smokescreen to take out buildbots. So outside of that, all you really need it for is DPS, which is that part of that G1. But I think that you need to get primer in your war team somehow. For me, this is my solution. So although I'm not saying this is the best setup for him, what I am saying is that don't get stuck on the G1. Don't get stuck on it, guys. It's not absolutely amazing, unbelievable. It's got to go on Smokescreen. I think Glitch probably needs to, but I don't think G1 core does. I'd stay away from volatile mixtures. Again, his biggest use is taking out buildbots. And he does that very well, but he doesn't need volatile mixture to do that. Adding volatile mixture on just means that it can finish buildings off a bit better, but not many people really use that. And the difference you get is not considerate, really, I'm honest with you. So let me know, like, if you're not going to use Smokescreen's G1, what would you use on him? What would you put on him instead? I've actually even seen some people put Quintus on him in a mad way, that it absolutely brings out sharks with huge DPS It's 20% of your health and damage. And considering Smokescreen, that's 881 DPS. You know, they've got 200 DPS, those sharks. So crazy amount of damage. But let me know what you guys use for Smokescreen. Do you use something other than Glitch and his G1? Do you maybe actually change his combat to Nightstick to give him that healing because he has such low health? Let me know in the comments. Do you have the setup of Glitch and his G1? Do you use something else? Let me know. So, like I said, we're going to be doing those every sort of week, guys. Just pick a few out and pick up the best setup. So let me know what you guys think. Have a look in the chat. Primes K, any idea about the 3rd and 4th MDS slot? The 4th, I mean, because there's 3 already. Yes, there probably will be a 4th, I reckon, with the next HQ upgrade, which probably come next year, I think. Darklands, I run Bird Axe on Leo. So, by Bird Axe, he means, nope. Bird Axe, where's Bird Axe? Tractor's on. 40% of the bot's DPS is damage to enemies on your target. All your attacks heal you for 12%. Does that include ability damage though? It says all of attacks, so yeah. So yeah, it's going to heal pretty quick, innit? Oh god. Andrew Stevens has put Blue Streak is awesome. Yes, it is. I am literally leveling Blue Streak next event. That's why I'm probably gonna go for the bot, because that's what I don't want to do. I want to get Blue Streak up to like 68, I think. He's incredible. Darklands, I plan on putting Forge on Optimus. So yeah, another good option. I currently have Bud Strike on him. Primes K runs Bash Breaker on Leo. So yeah, Bash Breaker obviously is acid projectiles and again healing. Doesn't work really at top levels and anti-acid cores as much. Dark wants to put Beachcomber on defense with Jazzy can wipe out squads. I know. Actually, while I'm here, I want to do something actually. I want to put 5-star Jazzy on him. And put the 4-star on Pipes. There we go. Boom. Yep. Blade 19 just popped in to say hello. Unfortunately, I have to go back to work. No problem. Good to see you, buddy. Autobot Phil, clear sign that something is OP. If you don't have it, you don't have a good base. True. Fair point. Goody Fox has put, I like my outpost bots, but I won't consider Beachcomber as a defense bot instead. I have Super's one outpost bot. Yeah, he's good. Because of his stun ability, but that is the prime one that can be replaced. I actually want to upgrade my Swoop and put him in an outpost, actually. I think because he can't really be countered. If it doesn't do damage to bots, there's bots to the combiners instead, don't they? It's one of those bots that the ability is not negated from an outpost. Big Blaze has got 5-star pipes. Well done, very good bot. The last prime put Peach is almost like 2 HQs worth of health, pretty much. Anderson Stevens has put I swapped wrong for CL. It means I'm Minerva, I presume. And Alpha Triancore. Yeah, I like the Alpha Triancore. Prime's K. I run Vector Prime on Minerva for survivability. Yeah, so if you lose Minerva, then she comes back to life again. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. The only thing about that is, though, that if she's in a bad place when she gets killed, but she'll be in a bad place again when she comes back to life and then dies anyway. So, Trax has put Nexus on Trax for sure. I use G Metal Ray Booster and 4-star CL on my Minerva. Goody Fox has my Cronus on Minerva. Yeah. MD Prime Dang and best the whole stream. we're about 2/3 through, not all of it. Big Blade, is it not okay to use G1 on small screen? No, listen, I'm not saying it's a bad core by any means. I think it's a very, very good core. All I'm saying is I think that people get stuck on it and go, G1, glitch, done. And they don't think outside the box. They don't actually think about it. They just put it on without thinking, well, actually, how much benefit am I getting? So all I'm saying is don't be a sheep. That's what I'm saying. What else? Just Blade 19 is putting small screens counterpart is breakneck. Yes. Jason Rowley has Micronus on Springer. Backdoor expert, obviously. Is it Brian and Kate? It's Silverbolt Air Razor combo is a great combo. I'm surprised Ace haven't done to areas like the sidetrack. What do you mean? They can't combat the HQ mean? Yeah, but obviously you've got to clear that area out. Obviously, so yeah. London Corners, but I've been using that setup on Breakneck for a couple of months now. Yeah, same as. Yeah. I think it really works well. Grind time. Wait, Sidetrack got nerfed? Yeah, when he couldn't flag at the HQ. Yeah, was a shame, but yeah, I imagine the same will happen to Air Razor eventually. It's just a Sidetrack is a bit more powerful than Air Razor, but I imagine the same will happen eventually. Oh man, I'm just happy we've gone through this stream. All right, my voice has been all right actually, better than I thought it'd be. Hasn't broken yet. Yeah, Big Blades, but could have made him do normal damage against his Q. So it's been an idiot. Fans but can I see Rotostorm and Sentius? We'll jump onto a test account for that because I don't really have them at a higher level. Not a big fan of them both. Both together really good, but I'm not a fan of sort of spam bots like that. Sentius, I mean, he's only at 63. Sword of Balance and he's not got a G1 core, has he, Sentius? No, so yeah, look at Amalgamus, I'd say. You can get it somewhere else. Amalgamus is a good core for Sentius. Good setup for Rotostorm. I mean, we'll go through these bots eventually anyway, but I don't mind while we're on stream. Rotostorm. Let's just go to just make it easy on ourselves. I mean, again, volatile mixture increases damage. Combat wise, you're looking glitch or nightstick. I'd say one of those two. After that, you can pick anything really. And how is Scattershot? Good at lower levels. I'd say up to Cybertron is good. After that, not so much. I don't really like him after that. His damage just doesn't match. Cool. Next up. So, when we were doing playtests for Raiden, we started to get into the nitty gritty of combiners and problems with combiners, what they were doing, what they weren't doing. And I think someone brought it up in playtests and said like, oh, when I use Raiden, he keeps getting stunned or something. And when we looked into it, it's because that a lot of top players knew this and kept quiet about it, rightly so. That's what happened. And it came out that Ruination was stunning the MDS. Ruination was stunning combiners. And so the first thing Dale did was to fix that. And as soon as it happened, people in playtests kicking off, going like, you can't do that. You know, it's not fair. It's been like this for a while. But sadly, I will always say that there are certain things in the game that shouldn't happen. Now, the MDS can't be stunned. Neither should combiners. And so sadly, the fix was required. You know, You know, I am for it in a way. What I'm not for is the fact that it's been like that for quite a while. It's only took them till now to fix it. But it was legitimate. It didn't need fixing. So then people then started saying, what about Computron? Computron hacks combiners. Yeah, but Computron has a super hack. That's why he does. And he was given that super hack because in playtest, when we were talking about it, we said that his ability was easily negated, is rubbish. So we said, what about a super hack? And we started hacking combiners with it. We were like, this is amazing. This is amazing. Now that's suited because it works on defense. It improved defense. Now, Ruination got Neptune. We're already immense on attack. And the fact that stunning MDS and stunning combiners made them better on attack, it was an easy choice for the apes. It was, because it shouldn't happen anyway. And it's an easy way to make Ruination less a problem than what it was. Do I think that it's ruined Ruination? No, not at all. It's still the best combiner in the game. It's still absolutely amazing. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, it's not ruined him by any means. But I just feel like people expect a lot and then go over the top when they don't get what they should want. And I've always said that if there is a bug in the game, you don't tell Space Ape. That's fine. I understand that and I'm all for it. And I'm not going to sit here and criticize people that do that. I've done that myself. I will be in a conversation with Dale about something I will know is a glitch and I won't say anything. But then it comes out and I go, yeah, I knew about that. You know, it happens. But what you can't do is take advantage of that glitch for 6 months, knowing it's a glitch, which it is, guys. And some people are saying like, oh, I didn't know it was a glitch. I thought it was meant to be like that. Come on. Come on now. If you've got any sense about the game, you know that you shouldn't be able to stun combiners. That's not a feature of him. That's a glitch. You can't then, when it gets fixed in 6 months' time, go, oh, it's not fair because I've been using this for the last 6 months. But then good on you. Great. You've used a glitch to your advantage. And I'm all for that as well. All power to you. But please don't complain when it gets fixed. When you knew it was a glitch. You know. Oh, and thank you, Stephen Gomez. Of course, that 1 second. Yeah, please don't complain if it's a glitch. Because it's going to get fixed eventually. If you're that bothered that you've invested in a bot and you're bothered about glitches, then if you find something that's a bit weird, go and tell Space Ape then. But I know for a fact people out there will be like, I ain't doing that. Fine, but then don't complain when the glitch is fixed. If you think it's a glitch, go and tell Space Ape and they'll go and fix it very quickly. Or they can say, no, it's not a glitch. And then you've got evidence and you can go, right, it's not a glitch. I can invest in it. It's fine. But if you don't do that and don't get clarification, you can't complain when it's fixed. That's my proviso, that's all. But it's not made him any that much worse. It's made him survivability go down a bit. That's fine though, because he was absolutely overpowered. It makes him a bit easier to kill now. But I know a lot of people are annoyed about it. But will it balance the game better? You know, everyone complains at how good Ruination is, really. Will it balance him better? Make him less relevant? And maybe open it up to other combiners? Who knows? Stephen Gomez has put, how do you feel about this? If I know a 5-star combat works with a 5-star bot, I slap the 4-star combat on the 4-star bot. Yeah. Yeah. Because it works exactly the same. Yeah, but obviously you get less effect. But yeah, if I listen, just to clear that up, if I'm sat here saying, listen, you should get the 5-star combat on this bot and you're the 4-star version, all of these are relevant further down. You know, if you don't have a G metal volatile mixture, go and put a gold on. You know, these things are still relevant. It's very rare where it happens where it doesn't. It's only maybe where I'm saying put a G1 core on. There might be a better core that works better. There's a few examples. I can't think to hand, but not many. Where you know when you get out to like silver G1s, there's a better core than it. I'm trying to think now. I can't think examples off the top of my head. But yeah, generally the 5-star is good. Then the 4-star will work exactly the same. Just obviously as you go up to the higher levels, that 4-star bot and that 4-star combat will not do the same as the 5-star, which is I think common sense really. You know, if you're using the 4-star Sea Spray and Caminus and really clearing bases out, and then you come up to you go up to Cybertron, you're trying to use Sea Spray in the same way, and it doesn't quite clear everything out. It's leaving a slither of health. Then you need the 5-star version, obviously. Last Science put it's like Combiner Gate. No one was going to tell they're getting all these crystals cheap, except for one butt kisser who wanted everyone else's fun to drop. Same thing, the accidental 5-stars. Yeah, yes, it's fine. You know, but I'm just saying, don't complain when it's fixed though. Dark Answers put wish they would restore all the combiners being able to damage the HQ in Z farming. Yeah, I missed those days. Steve Pierce, only been playing a year and generally didn't know it was a glitch, but the fact Space Aid took so long to fix it is insane. Yeah, I kind of agree with that, but you can't expect Space Aid with their busy schedule to go and check everything in the game. They're expecting players to come and tell them and go, I think there's a problem here, this is doing this. And if no one tells them, they don't know. So that's not on Space Aid, that's on the players. It's not like a case of, oh, it's insane that Space Aid didn't know that. It's insane that not a single player has brought up a fuss and made a point of it because they're taking advantage of it. So, which is fine. Again, I'm not sat there going like, oh my god, I can't believe players did that. The point I'm making is it's crazy that Space 8 never found out before that. Last science put, and here's the thing about glitches that the chat should really take heed of. The terms of service on almost every single app ever say they can ban you for exploiting bugs and glitches. I think that's a tricky road to go down. I've been in many game, and I don't know a single person that has been banned from a game for taking advantage of a glitch. Hacking, yes, 100%. Having a modded app, yep, 100%. It's happened, but I don't know a single person that's been banned for a glitch. What usually happens is it gets reverted. So whatever you bought, you get it reverted and you get it in credit or you get your money back. Usually credit, just to avoid messed about. You only get in-game credit. Kind of smack alright, but player testers not saying anything is kind of shady also. Just because you are looking to take advantage of it yourself, why do you think you are there? I know, but I'm not gonna lie, even when I was a play tester, even I knew some glitches in the game that I didn't tell Space Ape about. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I always say that, and my channel will always be as honest as I can, and that's the case. And yeah, there was glitches I took advantage of, definitely. I think it's a given in the game, to answer you. Last up, let's have a look. Let's have a look at. Oh no, last up, not last up. We've got 2 more things yet. Let's look at Raiden. Let's have a chat. Oh god, my throat's getting worse because I've been talking a lot. Oh, I've not done this much talking in a long time. Plus, this is my last stream. So Raiden is finally in the game. He's now available. I go to my main account. It's currently being upgraded. It's currently a 3-star at level 7. So we've missed a few details from Raiden on defense, and I wanted to sort of cover him, even though it's a couple of weeks ago now, and sort of talk about how relevant he might be. So in playtest, I think the big argument is that on attack, I don't think he's going to be that good. And the reason being is that he's got a bit of a shield. Takes 6% less water damage. He's got a lifesteal. And he sort of slows defenses in an area, which helps his survivability. But there's nothing in there that really keeps him alive more than most other combiners. When you compare his health of 106,000, it's very similar to other ones in 7,000. You get the idea. But obviously where he excels is on defense. Now, if you're not looking for a defensive combiner, then I would consider saving your spark for the likes of Volcanicus, who are definitely going to be attacking combiners. If you haven't got God Neptune or Ruination yet, I would advise you to go and get them without a doubt. But currently we have two main combiners on defense, and that is Computron and that is Skyray. And so I think that Raiden will be the next big defensive combiner for two reasons. One of the reasons is that his break zone ability, so you gain an acid aura, so we know that acid in the game stops healing. Gain acid aura and 50% damage reduction for 15 seconds. So that means he gets a bit of a shield. And the acid aura covers foes dealing 2790 DPS. Now I did say to Dale before we even got Raiden that if you want to make him better on defense, no matter what you give him, you need to make it do more against bots and combats and combines and things like that. That's what gives him the edge. And so the idea was to give him 2790 DPS in acid and twice that to bots. Also slowing those bots by 6%. So what this means is that he's got a damage reduction. He's not taking much damage from bots because they're 6% slower for 10 seconds. He's also stopping healing now. So he's stopping the bots from healing. He's stopping the bots from doing damage, which increases survivability. And then him and the outpost bot are doing damage against your bots where they can't heal for 15 seconds. That is an eternity. Trust me. When you look at 15 seconds, you don't think it's that long, but it is. 15 seconds without any healing at all is crazy. And this is only the 2-star ability. Now, but what I did say is, I did say two reasons. And that's because his 3-star ability also does crazy damage as well. And so you've got rapidly fire at a target dealing 3720 DPS for 4 seconds. So it's very quick. It's 4 seconds. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. William Boss has done 3,700 damage in a heartbeat. But the shots bounce to nearby targets up to 2 times with 20% damage reduction per bounce. So it does 3,700 for the first target. It does about 3,000 damage to the next target. And about 2,700 to the third target. So 3 targets are getting quite a bit. But that's not all. When you assign it to defense, it does double that. So it's doing 7k to the first target. It's doing about 6k to the second target and 5k to the third target. So it's doing 7,000, 6,000 and 5,000 damage to 3 bots in 4 seconds in a heartbeat. Not only is it doing that, but it also increases by a further 4% and life stealing 1% damage dealt each time Raiden takes damage. So if you've got Raiden on defense and someone drops their opposing combiner and they drop the 3-star ability, it'll actually help you because he's not taking any damage in that minute there. And you're negating it. But for those people that like to try and ride out the combiner abilities and save their combiner for later on, I find they're going to really struggle against this. This is one of those abilities that you need to counter somehow. You're going to have to counter it. Because the amount of damage that it does and the lifesteal, it keeps him alive for longer. And if you're doing damage against him while he's doing this, it increases by 4%. Now, in tests, we talked about this. Oh, the playtesters spoke about it and I watched. And 4% doesn't sound a lot, but it's each time he gets hit. So you can imagine between, say, 8 bots, you've got 6 bots on the field, 2 healers, say. You've got 6 bots that hit Raiden. That's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24%. He's just got 24% from each hit. Then they hit him again before the 4 seconds ends. That's all of a sudden, it's going up by 25%. So instead of the 7, 6 and 5, it's now become 9, 8 and 7. And if you actually hit him again before the ability runs out at 4 seconds, you're talking like 12k, you're talking 10.5k, and you're talking 8k to some bots. It's absolutely incredible. Actually seeing it on defense is more impressive. Oh, I've got to check what abilities he's got. Make sure we got a 3-star on first. Got a 4-star, there you go. So we've got a realistic environment here where we've got a combiner. Yes, it's the front. It's not realistic in that sense. We've got a few defenses around. You can see there, he has just wiped out Beachcomber in a heartbeat. And we're speaking earlier about how much HP the Beachcomber has. And saying like, oh, it's absolutely crazy. But then we've just wiped out a bot in literally one ability. So the big question is like, how can we counter this? So we've already said that we need to counter it with dropping our combiner. But what we can do is we've got Source Prime, we've got the SP Prime there. No, it's Prime Saber's Prime, isn't it? Prime Saber's off, yeah. So we've got all these hollows at the front. Taking the damage. And there we go. So a really good counter. That ability is dropping those hollows. We've actually seen the likes of Rook and Blaster fall away from the meta. But I think we might actually find bots like that throw hollows down actually be a bit more relevant once we start seeing Raiden more on defense. But let's have a look at his acid ability instead. Someone's going to rush in with acid, remember? You can see there how the healers are struggling to heal. 15 seconds. You can see there that, yeah, I haven't used the abilities. Fair point. I could use abilities. Could use the healing tower to save him. But you can see he's doing good amount of damage to the team. And it's not just the damage he's doing. It's because they can't heal. It's damage from the other defenses that are doing. So then you've got a question between yourselves there. Do you want to do damage in an area to a load of your team? Or do you want to do damage to just one bot maybe and just take that out of the fray? We've also got the 4-star ability as well. So look at the 4-star. We've got charge and orb that explodes after 10 seconds, dealing 2,700 damage, increasing by a further 2% every time it takes damage. When assigned to defense, buildings also take 6% less water damage for 30 seconds when Raiden deploys. Now, when I did this on test, I wasn't a massive fan. I thought the idea of it was very good, but I felt like the problem being was that what I think this was intended as, that when you drop Raiden, the other person drops Ruination. And when you drop Ruination, then you do 30 seconds less damage when Raiden is deployed. The problem is that the first start part of this ability, the energy orb, the 2790 damage increasing damage, it doesn't do enough on defense to make you worried to drop Ruination. And so what happens is you pop Raiden, you deal with Raiden, you let him die, and then once he's died, then you pop Ruination, because the 30 seconds by that point is not 30 seconds after death. It's 30 seconds from when he deploys, which I kind of get. And so this is kind of like a, you can't pop your combiner to negate my combiner, which I kind of like, but they needed to make the first start of the ability a bit better to make you have to drop your combiner, if that makes sense. If the first part of the combiner 4-star ability was that good to make you drop your combiner, this would be a really good defense ability to negate Ruination and God Neptune. But because it doesn't hit that hard, you don't have to drop Ruination, and you can save him for later on for when that 30 seconds of less water damage kicks in. So I like the idea behind it, but I don't think it's as good as a 2-star or 3-star ability. But what I do like is that no doubt that people are going to put this on defense, and some people are going to choose the 4-star maybe just to make it a bit more difficult. Some people the 3-star, some people the 2-star. Different people are going to do different things to try and get the best out of this combiner, and I like that. So let me know, what would you pick on defense? What would you rather use? Would you actually use the 4-star, trying to trick people into dropping Ruination and not doing as much damage? A bit like the Computron hack, trying to catch people out unless they're careful. Would you use the 3-star ability and use that incredible quick damage to just wipe out one bot maybe, keeping the combiner alive and giving him some more survivability on the field, a bit more of a pest? Or would you use the 2-star ability, give that acid to sort of do massive amount of acid in the area, preventing healing? Does it depend on the base? Does it depend on where the combiner is placed? Let me know in the comments what you think, and let me know which ability you're looking to use when your Raiden is leveled up and ready to go. What else have we got? Steve Pierce, but I don't accept Space Ain't weren't aware though. The amount of people on Discord touting Ruination, saying he's OP. Surely one of the 8s must have twigged. Sadly not. They thought it was working as intended. I mean, I'm not saying for a minute they shouldn't have gone unlocked. They should have gone unlocked. But we talk about them not having any time and struggling for time to even do events. The last thing they're going to do with any sort of free time they've got have gone, should I go and check Ruination? To be fair, that is the playtester's job, to go and check. Not for bugs, but make sure he's working. You know, it is, sadly. And wherever got missed, got missed. And again, I don't think the playtesters really did it on purpose, but I think once it got in the game, people knew about it and kept quiet, which is fair enough again. Also, what Phil's put, I couldn't disagree more with your point on Space 8 not knowing about glitches. These types of glitches are a common theme, and the fact they don't catch them is negligence at best. Oh yeah, listen, granted, I've talked endlessly about their process wanting to be better, but what I'm saying is you can't blame Space 8 then for fixing something that should have been broken. Listen, if you want to have a go at them about their process and the fact it should have been fixed on launch, you could also have a go at the playtesters though as well, if you wanted to. You know, I don't think it's fair to have a go at either of them, really, though. Not with the way the schedule is. And yes, that is their fault, though. But again, I think it all stems back to the scheduling. Everything does. Last Science Port was a glitch where if you entered airplane mode and attacked, but then turned data back on, you could do enough damage to beat events easily. What? People got banned for that? I've never heard of that. Grandtimes put, you haven't talked this much in a long time. I bet your wife is happier than she's been in a long time. True, I said that earlier. Oh god. Um, what else? Dartle support. I've seen attacking by and melt in 10 seconds. So have I. Two ability choices on defense makes attacking in wars a problem to plan, but makes it interesting. You know. Um, Dartle support. I'll wait till a 4-star available, as they might rework the ability. I don't think they will. I really don't think they will. But it's put both 3-star looks be what I will use where I have a beacon at. Fair enough. And Andrew Stevenson's put, I'm all for Raiden and Volcanicus can wait. So let's talk a bit about Volcanicus actually while we're on the subject. It's the last subject of the night. So it's been announced that Volcanicus is going to be the next combiner having a 5-star upgrade. So I actually talked about this previously and went through the sort of combiners and talked about what I would like to see and went through some of the combiners. So I won't go through them all again, but we'll just talk about Volcanicus. And at the time when I talked about Volcanicus, I said that he's all about damage. He does incredible damage. Actually does really, really good damage, especially with a 4-star ability. But he just dies too quickly. He's got nothing to protect him, because when you look at the 2-star sword, jump and strike, that's that. Set of area on fire, that's that. And then shower meteors, bombs large a large area. Quadruple damage to walls. So it's all about fire damage. Now, we already have anti-fire cores. So I think we can go out and really go for this and really give him loads of fire damage. It's got fire cores, a bit like we did, no, not intentionally, but a bit like with Leo Prime. You can go a bit further if you've got counters. When Leo Prime came out, we said, listen, you got anti-fire cores, go and use them, and that was the kind of counter for it. The problem is that Dale has actually found a glitch of Volcanicus, where he's actually doing about triple the fire damage that he should be doing. He was doing about 12k damage in an area. And so, yes, that will be fixed. But don't worry, guys. I imagine, because we're in the middle of upgrading him, I imagine they'll probably give him the damage that he was doing. So we'll just change the tooltip. So that makes sense. If they triple damage that he was doing, they'll revert it to doing 4.5k. And then probably just give him the 12k damage anyway. Now, my opinion always was that all they need to do was increase the damage of all these 3 abilities and give him a 5-star ability that gives him something like invulnerability or something that gives him some sort of survivability. I thought it's one of the few combiners that was really easy to fix. And so I was a bit surprised when in playtest the first thing I saw was Dale talk about what he was going to do to Volcanicus. And this is the idea. So the first idea was for the 2-star to leap into battle, striking enemies in an area, dealing fire damage. Each jump grants 15% more damage reduction and 10% increased damage. For the rest of the battle, deal double damage to enemies that are set ablaze for the next 4 seconds. Then for the 3-star ability, is that right? No, yeah, for the 3-star ability, it was set a wide area on fire, dealing damage and setting enemies ablaze. And then for the 4-star ability, it was rain down meteors, dealing X amount of damage for 11 seconds and setting enemies ablaze. Enemies ablaze deal 15% less damage. Now, I felt I was going in the right direction. And I thought, yeah, okay, he's giving some survivability. And probably all we need to do from then is just bump up the numbers, give him some more damage, and then see where we're going from there. But then we started sort of getting into the conversations in playtest. I think with me personally, I mean, a lot of playtesters will probably disagree with this. Me personally, I feel like we got away from what he was doing and sort of started to get a bit. I always say this: if you're gonna do something to a bot, just make it do something good, whatever it is. Doesn't matter what it is, but make it do it good. And then we started talking about adding acid to it. We started talking to a lifesteal as well. They started talking about a long cooldown. Then they started talking about what else? There was loads of things that we started to talk about. Trying to find something else. There's a lot of chat. Then we had gain 10% damage reduction for the rest of the battle every time you jump. Small area. Then we had execute a building or combiner near you under 25% health upon your death. Grant ally bots in the battlefield and Megatronus effect. I did like the idea of an after death effect in Megatronus, but I just feel like we're talking about like just give it damage reduction and stuff, but I feel like they've gone far too much into detail. And what happens here is that they started all this stuff and something doesn't work and we don't know what. And that's what happened with Ruination. Because he had this water damage and he had this stun and he had this shield and he had this and he had so many things. I mean, if you take a look at Ruination, what it's actually got, there's no wonder why it doesn't work. And so you've got charge, doing damage, stun on the way for 13 seconds, also grants a shield that halves damage, but then once mixed with tidal wave, it gets extended. Then you've got the tidal wave that unleashes a wave. Then it does damage to targets, reducing their attack and defense. Then it stuns them, and EMP effects are extended. Then you've got shockwave that does damage to targets in a line. Ones that have got the tidal wave or are stunned, hit by this, have explosions. Once activated, allies receive 40% ability to increase upon combiner's death. Then you've got the 4 bots coming out as well. The 4 bots are quite an easy one, but you can see how many different parts there are to it to make it very easy to miss something, to make it not do as it should. I just think we're going down a bit down that route with Volcanicus of adding far too many things. I just think we need to, me personally, if I was to make this combiner now without any sort of outside influence, I would make him jump and go invisible. There's no, we've got FFD, we've got all these things, but I feel like we've done the shield thing, we've done the damage reduction thing, but there's none of going invisible really. I mean, I know that Comstrom does a bit, but I think jumping and going invisible for like 5 seconds will be pretty cool and increase his survivability. So jump, do damage, go invisible. That's pretty easy to do. Set a wide area on fire. Okay, just need to bump that up, yeah. And then the meteor, I think it just needs to do more damage. And dead simple, just more damage in a bigger area. I would literally give it like almost like half the map, just like a massive fire damage in an area. And again, we can go a bit crazy with this because we've got anti-fire cores, so we can go a bit mental. And the 5-star ability idea of giving bots Megatronus, I do like that as an after death effect. I thought that was come from the playtesters, I think, and I thought that was really cool. Again, this bot is all about fire, so if you have a jump and it goes invisible, that invisibility needs to last, say, 2/3 of the cooldown between jumps. So he jumps, goes invisible, comes alive, takes some damage for a couple of seconds, then he can jump again, goes invisible, do some damage, then he comes available again, takes some damage. So you can sort of see that you can use that jump to get him about the place, doing some damage, get the cooldowns working again, maybe even give him a bit of life steal depending on how much damage he's doing, but it keeps him alive. You know, I don't think we need to do all this damage reduction shield thing again. You know, I think we're just really overthinking it, where like every jump does more damage. We don't even need that really. He just needs to be able to jump again. Just make sure that he survives long enough, because that's his main problem right now. So, Volcanicus, hopefully coming for Christmas. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have it in test by next week, and you'll be able to see it a bit more. So, until then, let me know what your thoughts. What would you like to see on Volcanicus? What do you think would be a really cool ability? What do you think would be a really cool effect? Keeping in with his lore of, you know, Dinobots and fire and doing a lot of damage. That's what I imagine around, you know, Dinobots being really powerful. So let me know in the comments what you think. What would you like to see for Volcanicus? Lost prize, but I like using Volk and the Arc on weaker bases. Yeah, but I think you use any combine on weaker bases, can't you, really? LJ Gav, upgrade Volcanicus fully so you can see the full stats. Well, obviously next week we'll see a bit better, so well, but I'm just giving you an idea for now. This is not the new Volcanicus, this is Volcanicus as he is in the game right now, so it's a bit, we don't really need to upgrade him as such. Pretty Fox, if they do that to Volcanicus, they need to do the same for Predaking. Yeah, that's the idea. Yeah, Volcanicus and Predaking will get exactly the same. LJ Gaz put 5-star ability could be a shield for 30 seconds, dealing mind damage to anything near him, like Magnaboss. I know, but we've already done that. We've already got Defensor that's got that. We've already got Ruination that's got a shield. We've got so many bots that have got shields. Just don't think we need to. Darklands, massive earthquake eruption. That's pretty cool. I do like that idea. Erupting from the ground. That'd be pretty cool. I just think that the problem is, though, is in terms of art. When you start getting art involved, then it becomes a bit more difficult. We're trying to improve these combiners without getting the artists involved, because there's a quick fix. If we start getting artists involved, then it becomes a bit harder. But I do like the idea. That is a really, really cool idea. Not sure it's feasible. This happens in playtests all the time. Is that someone's got a really cool idea and they go, yeah, we can't really do that because of the time constraints we've got. But for me, it should have been thought about in the first place. You know, it should have had a bit of a brainstorming session on, and all got together and gone, right, guys, what is that? Like we have now. Like, listen, I'll say this, and you go, oh, I like that idea actually. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, have a bit of brainstorm. I just don't feel like that goes on behind the scenes. I just feel like one person is sort of deciding on what they're going to do, and they go and check with Yanis then. Whereas more people, you know, more ideas will, you know, bring you better ideas in general. Well, that is it for today's stream. So big thank you everyone that came back. Appreciate it. My voice is shot now. It's really starting to hurt now, but I didn't want to miss 3 weeks. I really didn't. So, but I'm a lot better than what I was. This is probably how I was on week 1. I was like this, and like I said, I had a few problems with playtest. But last week, oh my god, I was written off. I was so ill. Last weekend was actually mine and the wife's 25th anniversary of being together. We've actually been together 25 years. I know, madness. And we planned to go out for the night. We planned to book the table, everything like that. We had a babysitter booked and everything like that. And literally on the day, I just said, "Listen, there's no way I could go out like this. Not a chance." One of my favourite restaurants as well. We went to, and we literally went and bought the wife a dress. I bought some new clothes. We did everything, literally, to go out this night. And cancelled it all last minute. I was absolutely fuming because I had to pick this dress out. I said to the wife, "Oh, I can't wait to see you in this dress," and I'm still not seeing her in this dress. Still not seeing it. Took her out shopping for this dress and not even seeing it. But yeah, that's what it goes sometimes, sadly. So yeah, listen, it wasn't just cancelling the stream, guys. I just cancelled my whole weekend plans. I did nothing that weekend other than have plenty of hot baths, plenty of hot drinks. It's quite funny actually because I sent a picture to my manager. He said, "Enjoying your week off." I was like, "No." He's like, "What?" I thought it was your anniversary. And I sent a picture of that. It had like paracetamol, it had like ibuprofen, it had like cough medicine, it had like obviously throat lozenges, it had throat spray, it had what else did it have there? I can't remember. There was that many stuff, honestly. Like, he's like, geez, like a chemist. Yeah, just trying to get right. But yeah, it was really, really bad. So apologies, guys, but I didn't want to miss 3 weeks. I really didn't. So thank you for coming back, Emmy. Johnny put congratulations, but 25-year view, that's mental. No doubt. But yeah, big thank you, guys. See you next week. We'll have Volcanicus next week. We'll have the new bots next week, and obviously, as always, loads of subjects to go over. And we'll see you then. Thanks for watching, and peace out, guys.